श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। ओम सहना भवतु सहनो भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। So the next dharana is vastuṣu smaryāmāṇeṣu dṛṣṭe deśe manastyajet svaśarīraṃ nirādhāraṃ kṛtvā prasarati prabhuḥ. vastuṣu smaryāmāṇeṣu dṛṣṭe deśe manastyajet svaśarīraṃ nirādhāraṃ kṛtvā prasarati prabhuḥ. In this place of kṛtvā there is another reading which is tataḥ. I prefer that tataḥ to be more apt here. We'll understand why it is. Vastuṣu smaryāmāṇeṣu. This Dhāraṇā says, when you are thinking about some object of the past, place your mind there in that. When you dissolve your mind, when you establish your mind in that place and that situation, then when the mind, when the attachment with the body dissolves, the inherent nature of Bhairava emerges, manifests. Vastuṣu smaryāmāṇeṣu. Vastuṣu smaryāmāṇeṣu. When you are thinking about some past objects. Vastuṣu, objects. When you are thinking about the past objects, that is why this Bhairava, this Tantra is a very beautiful thing. See, in other places you are asked to meditate on something or other, to stick to something. Here, any situation in your life becomes an object of meditation. That is the beauty here. Now, vastuṣu smaryāmāṇeṣu. Whether we are eligible for that or not is a different issue. But when you become eligible, everything becomes an object of meditation. There is nothing which is not an object of meditation. Okay? Anything, whatever, good, bad, ugly, vulgar, anything becomes an object of meditation. There is no like, dislike, etc. there. Okay? Now, vastuṣu smaryāmāṇeṣu. Vastuṣu smaryāmāṇeṣu. When you are thinking about object, the rule is thinking about object. The rule is yāyā smritihi sāsa anubhava purvika. Whatever you remember, you recollect, they should have been experienced already. Only that which is experienced in the past can be remembered now. Okay? The past can be immediate past or a very old past. Does not really matter. dṛṣṭe deśe manastyajet. In that place, there you saw that those objects, in that place you establish your mind. Manastyajet, leave your mind, establish your mind. Now, when I was reading this, I remembered this Baba, this sadhu. I didn't meet him. My Guru Bhai, who is no more, that Guru Bhai, my brother, he met him when he went to Nepal, to this temple called Guhyeshwari temple, one of the Shakti Pitas. He went there. So outside the temple, he saw this sadhu. He was coming and talking to me about him, and he was praising, oh, that sadhu. What is the greatness of this sadhu? This sadhu, he has traveled the whole of India by foot. Okay, there are so many people like that who do that. They have traveled every place. Oh, that is not all. The important thing is this sadhu has done that 30 years ago. Okay, there are all sadhus who have done that. That is not the point. This sadhu recollects and remembers every point in that travel. Like I was talking about during another dharana, when you walk for 80 kilometers or 90 kilometers and you stop. That is a meditation, I said, right? So I spoke about my experience on the second day of the travel when we went towards the 4 dhams. The second day I traveled for 80 kilometers, and suddenly when I stopped, the legs started shivering, right? I told you about that. We stopped at some village. I don't remember the name of the village. That is what I said. I still don't remember the name of the village. But the speciality of this sadhu is he remembered every point in detail. He told him, okay, where are you from? Okay, in this place, when you go straight, there was this temple, and that temple, this person is there, and opposite there was a shop. This shop, it was owned by this man. His name is this. Every detail. He was surprised. You went 30 years ago. How do you know? You know what happened? What is the secret? Secret is not his memory is very strong. No, that is not the point. Secret is every day after taking bath and all the ablutions, he comes and sits and meditates. Normally we do japa. But this fellow, he travels throughout India, wherever he went. He probably started it from day one. He travels to all the nook and corners, wherever he went and whomever he met, he recollects everything. That is his meditation. Especially exactly this meditation. That is exactly what he does. So, dṛṣṭe deśe manastyajet, when you drop your mind, when you leave your mind in the place of the place where you saw those objects, then svaśarīraṃ, nirādhāraṃ, kṛtvā. If you add kṛtvā, that is why I said kṛtvā is not proper. By making kṛtvā means by making your body supportless. That is not a proper way. When you svaśarīraṃ nirādhāraṃ, your body becomes supportless. Naturally, tataḥ, thereafter. That is how it should be. Why? Because when you are concentrating, even while reading a novel, when you are concentrating on reading a novel, then what happens is you don't remember you should eat and all, you are hungry and all. Nothing. You remember nothing. So, in the same way, when you are totally concentrated on the object which you are seeing in that place and that time, then you forget about this body, this time, this period. This body is completely, totally forgotten. Like the snake, it forgets its skin, the skin which it drops. Like today morning, I saw this 6 feet. A cobra has left its skin. It doesn't come back and see, oh, is it still there? It has left, it's gone. That's all. That is all. So, this fellow also, when he travels to that place and that object and that time, he forgets the attachment with the body. Only the attachment to the body manifests all these dualities in front of you. When you are not attached to the body, then only the mental modification, that duality exists. So, svaśarīraṃ nirādhāraṃ, your body becomes supportless. Because you are not attached to the body. Associate with body now. Because you are in past. Tataḥ, therefore, thereafter, prasarati, prabhuḥ prasarati. The absolute state. A prabhuḥ means the Lord. Lord means Śivaḥ, the Bhairava. The Bhairava, prasarati. Prasarati means he manifests. He emerges. Sripu Sarpani, to manifest, to emerge. Okay. Now, this is a Shakta Upaya. Because you are not attached to the body sense organ complex, you are not seeing any solid object, therefore it is not a Upaya. You are not leaving everything, therefore it is not a Shambha Upaya. You are attached to the past, the objects of the past and the place of the past, therefore it is a Shakta Upaya. Okay, though everyone can meditate on the past object, giving up the attachment to the current body and meditating only that alone is difficult for anybody. Only Shakta Upaya person eligible for that can do that. Okay, now next, kvacidvastuni vinyasya śanairdṛṣṭiṃ nivartayet tajjñānaṃ cittasahitaṃ devi śūnyālayo bhavet. kvacidvastuni vinyasya śanairdṛṣṭiṃ nivartayet tajjñānaṃ cittasahitaṃ devi śūnyālayo bhavet. In the place of śūnyālayo, śūnyālaya, there is another reading by Shivopadhyaya. He says there is another reading called śūnyālaya instead of alaya. We'll come to that later. Okay. Now, kvacidvastuni vinyasya. What does this Dhāraṇā say? This Dhāraṇā says, like in the past Dhāraṇā we saw, establishing your mind in the past. Here, establishing your mind in the object in front of you, not in the object of the past. So, when you establish your mind in the object in front of you and slowly retrieve your knowledge and the ideas regarding the object, When you retrieve the knowledge and the ideas regarding the object, slowly turning the mind inwards, then, O Devi, the state of absence of creation manifests. Okay, we'll understand what it means. Kvacidvastuni. Kvacidvastuni means any object in front of you. Vinyasya, you have to apply your mind. So when you vinyasya means vinyoga means to apply. Okay, when you are applying your mind on the object in front of you, then dṛṣṭiṃ vinyasya. What are you going to apply? Your vision. And slowly you have to retrieve your vision from that, meaning turn it inwards. Instead of keeping it external, turn it internal. Then śanaihi, slowly it is not done. It's first the object is seen, and you are seeing the object. While seeing the object, you are seeing but not seeing really. That is the state we are talking about. So you are turning it inwards, and suddenly, see, we normally, when we are like thinking or something, we'll just be lost. That's a state we call kasuchi, being lost. But you see, when a person who has the habit of meditating and all that, who is established in meditation and all, when he is normally with you, someone, or when he's talking, he'll just be blank, looking at something. That is not looking like getting the lost state. Looking at the blank, shunya, that is the state there. We'll understand what it means. śanairdṛṣṭiṃ nivartayet. You have to retrieve your vision from the object. From the object, it is not just the object. Tajjñānaṃ, the knowledge of the object. Cittasahitaṃ, including the mind. Chitta normally is mind. Here, the mind means mental modifications regarding the object. Meaning, you like the object, you hate the object, you want to gain it, etc. All those. Okay, all the emotions, ideas associated with the object. You retrieve your vision from the object. You retrieve the knowledge from the object. You retrieve the ideas from the object. When you turn it inwards, hey Devi, oh Devi, what happens? Śūnyālayo bhavet. Śūnyālayo bhavet. In the shunya, in the void, it is not actually void. In the absence of creation. Shunya means karyarahityam, absence of the effects. That is void. The absence of manifestation of creation. That is what is called as void. Meaning only the Shiva state. Because Shiva is aspanda, one who is without any vibration, without any cause for creation. Spanda is the cause for creation. Shiva does not have that in him. So that state, shunya, the state where there is no spanda. That alaya means abode. You become established in that. Śūnyālayo means in the void, in the absence of that creation, you along with your individuality mind, you merge in it. Okay, so bhavet, that is what is said here. Śūnyālayo or śūnyālayo means the Shiva state, the Bhairava state. Next. So this Dhāraṇā is also a Shakta Dhāraṇā. Because you are seeing the object, yes, true, but you are turning it internally and looking at yourself. You are merging everything in yourself. The ideas, the knowledge, the object, etc. in yourself. You see it not different from yourself. Therefore, it is a Shakta Upaya, not a Shambha Upaya. Okay? Now, bhaktiyudrekādviraktasya yādṛṣī jāyate matiḥ sa śaktiḥ śāṅkarī nityaṃ bhāvayettāṃ tataḥ śivaḥ. bhaktiyudrekādviraktasya yādṛṣī jāyate matiḥ sa śaktiḥ śāṅkarī nityaṃ bhāvayettāṃ tataḥ śivaḥ. Bhakti udreka, this Dhāraṇā, it speaks about the devotion. When the devotion is in the epitome, when there is a abundance of devotion, the devotion is completely overpowering a person. Because of that devotion, he becomes a totally dispassionate to the world. When that happens, there is a intuition, matiḥ, there is an intuition which takes place. That intuition, that prerana, that the inner call, that is called as the śankarī śaktiḥ, the power of Shiva, Shankara. Shankarasya idam śankarī. Meaning that which belongs to Shankara, Shiva, in feminine form is śankarī. Okay, so bhavet, you have to meditate on that always, that intuition always. Then tataḥ, śivaḥ, and thereby you become the Shiva himself slowly. Bhaktiyudrekādviraktasya, udrekat means adhikyat, means devotion. When the devotion is very great, what does that mean? See, what is devotion first? Atmanasundhanam bhakti. Some people say meditating on the self is bhakti. What bhakti here means is, see, some people always they have the habit of see, in north you can see they are completely devoted to things. They'll just do this. Any elder, that's a very good habit. I'm not negating it, but without any bhavana inside, without any emotion inside, they do that. That is what is the problem. Then they do it. They touch the leg of Swami or the God. They go there. They touch their forehead, and sometimes it feels like they are patting on their head. It's like a face palm, right? What a situation! I have to touch these fellows' feet, right? So that is the kind of idea I feel sometimes, because it is not genuine, and many people they do it without any ingenuity. So what happens is it's a farce. And Shastra says ati vinayam dhurta laksham. When a person shows too much of humility, then that is a dangerous sign. It is a sign of a person to be crooked. So we are talking about the natural devotion, bhakti. So what is bhakti? In the shloka, it is said, na padapatanam bhaktihi vyapinah parameshituhu bhaktir bhavasvabhanam tadeki bhavanam. What is bhakti? Shivopadhyaya says, na padapatanam bhaktihi vyapinah parameshituhu bhaktihi bhavasvabhanam tadeki bhavanam. Bhav. Too many bhavas. What does he say? Na padapatanam bhaktihi. Padapatanam, falling on the feet, is not devotion. Padapatanam na bhaktihi. Falling on the feet is not devotion. And what is devotion? Vyapinaha parameshitu bhaktihi. The devotion to the omnipresent Shiva, Ishvara, is bhavasvabhanam, the objects and the subject. The objects and the subject, both the object and subject, eki bhavanam, seeing that to be one. Identifying the subject and object to be one. Gaining the identity of the subject and object. That is what is bhakti, the true bhakti. And this is what Bhagavan Gita himself says, that I consider these people who see me to be same with themselves, identified with themselves. That them I see to be the superior devotees. Okay. Now, here, this is the ultimate state. We'll come to that later. So, the bhakti. Bhakti, when you are talking about bhakti adhikyat, Mirabhai. There is a devotee called Mirabhai. She sang great songs of Krishna. She forgot, she is a queen actually. She forgot everything. Even seeing herself to be a woman, she doesn't even realize that. That is the state she was in. Or Tyagaraja, who sang great songs on Rama. There are so many great devotees like that who forgot their own nature. They are man, woman, etc. Nothing. They just are identified with that devoted. Now, bhakti. Regarding this bhakti, there is one this in Vrindavan. There is this place close to the main site, Banke Bihari Mandir. There is a temple called Banke Bihari, a temple of Krishna. Just adjacent, close to it, there is a temple where there is a stone placed there of this Mahatma. The stone of is not of the Mahatma actually. The stone on which this Mahatma, this sadhu, this saint, he stood. He was so devoted to Krishna. He was so devoted to that Ishvara. When the devotion is love, pure love, right? Love means there is a heat, right? So here he was so devoted. There is we call it viraga tapa, the heat of separation. So the heat of separation which his body produced melted the stone. The stone, you would have seen the candle melting, but the stone is in a melted condition. That is the viraga tapa, the heat of devotion, separation. So in that state, viraktasya, a person who is dispassionate. Why will one be attached to the objects of the world? If he wants only the truth, if he wants only the God, why will he be attached to the objects of the world? He will not even see that. So he's completely dispassionate toward the objects. Then yādṛṣī matiḥ jāyate. At that point of time, whatever kind of matiḥ, intuition, knowledge he gains, sa śankarī śaktiḥ. That intuition, that knowledge is called as śankarī śaktiḥ. That mati is called as a śankarī śaktiḥ. So that is the intuition, that is the knowledge which is the driving force for this sadhu. Okay. Now that śankarī śaktiḥ tam śankarī śaktiṃ nityaṃ bhavet. One should have to meditate on that śankarī śaktiḥ, that power of śankarasīraṃ śāṅkarī. In feminine form it is śāṅkarī. Śankarasīraṃ śāṅkarah, then feminine form śāṅkarī. Okay, that which belongs to the power which belongs to the Shankara, the power which is called a śāṅkarī, that mati, that intuitive power, when you meditate on that always, then the driving force is not your ego, not your individuality. It is completely surrendered to him. He is the one who is taking care of everything, doing everything. So tataḥ, śivaḥ. When there is no individuality, then that person is one with Shiva. That is what is the Dhāraṇā. So here, this Dhāraṇā is not ānavapāya. It is not simple. So it is not ānavapāya. It is not a shaktaupāya also. Because you have to give up attachment, association with anything, everything. There is no individuality here. There is no practitioner. So this is a shambhavapāya, pure shambhavapāya. Okay? We'll see this. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamadachyate. पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते. ओम शांति शांति शांति.